What's good, everybody? This is Blaze Reviews, where we bring you all the latest movie news and reviews, but on a higher level. I'm Adot Rick, and today we're gonna talk about the latest joint rolled up by David Sandberg, horror director known for The Conjuring, in his latest film, Shazam, latest superhero film from DC. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. Just me today. I gotta say, the first thing is the first act of this film, a little clunky. They're giving everybody's backstory all at once, and not sure if that was the smoothest thing to do, but once they get into who Shazam is, that takes a lot of the film because they're just recording his powers with one of his foster brothers, the one with the crutches. Like the one with the crutches, he was a good character. He did a great job. He was acting circles around the kid playing Billy Batson, and it wasn't even fair from like a talent perspective. But they took up a lot of the film in like Act 2A with trying to just film his powers and develop his character, see what he can do. And but once they get back around to Mark Strong, who you see in the trailer, Mark Strong's backstory is that when he was a kid, he was summoned to the Shazam temple by the wizard Shazam, but he was deemed unworthy. And once he becomes older, he's Mark Strong, and he's determined to get back there, and he eventually does. And once he gets back to that temple, he forms a pact with the 7 deadly sins, and he's trying to get the power of Shazam to become the one true champion. Well, with Mark Strong, who's the best actor in this film, again, same as Green Lantern, same as Kick-Ass, same as Kingsman 1 and 2. He's just the best. I'm a huge fan of his. His pact with the 7 deadly sins, it carries like the second half of this film. So with the 7 deadly sins, I got to give a high because they look great. They were CGI. You get to see them. They're like these 7. They start out as like 7 statues because they're like entrapped in the wizard's tomb. But then once they're released, they're like these demons. It looked amazing. The CGI was great. The texture was good. The movement was good. They looked great, but the only thing was the design of them. I couldn't tell who was who. I knew who Gluttony was because like he had a huge stomach and his mouth like went all the way down his body, and it was like disgusting. But I couldn't tell who the others were. I think like I was just thinking, man, if I had done the design for Lust, it would have been that character. That sin would have been the comic relief, and it would have been a tentacle form monster, and I would have just made it hilarious, and it would have wanted to bang everything into like oblivion. You know, they point out greed and envy, but they don't really look like greed and envy, and the other ones have no idea which ones they were. The designs just didn't tell me anything. Well, once we get into Act 3, the final showdown, of course, Billy, the kid, has his, he has his character arc kind of come full circle. So that was nice. They actually wrote a character arc for Billy, and it translated into Shazam. And so when Shazam had to do the final showdown with Sivana, with Mark Strong's character, it, you knew what everyone wanted, and so they were able to focus on the action. The action in here, it was decent. It still looked like Man of Steel, kind of like what's happening. They're obviously CGI replicas of people, and they're just fighting each other. But they do something really fun. I won't spoil it, but they do something really fun with the Shazam character in the third act for the showdown, because it's basically the 7 deadly sins and Sivana versus Shazam and his friends, and it's actually pretty cool. However, I gotta knock the costumes, the Shazam costumes. They just look, DC, this is just DC in general. Most of their costumes look awful. I like the Wonder Woman costume, and I actually like the Man of Steel costume. I thought they made some pretty cool design choices with the texture of the Man of Steel costume. And the Batman costume was okay-ish in in Justice League, but the Shazam costume looked terrible. The cyborg design also leaves a lot to be desired. I know the cyborg changed towards the end of Justice League, but his general design just looked terrible. The suits, if I had done the Shazam suits, I'd have made them look more like gladiatorial outfits, maybe to start, and then maybe change the outfit through the story at the end. I don't know, to update it. But all in all, I gotta give this some, you know, some low grade Reggie. The story was just so basic and so weak at times. The action was like, you know, it was mediocre. I think this film would have been awesome if it came out 20 years ago. This would have been awesome, but standards are way higher. Aquaman, forget about other properties. Aquaman was awesome. Wonder Woman was a decent film. So, you know, this was kind of a step back for DC, I think. I think maybe in the next film, they'll try and get it up another notch. I gotta say also, the reason I give it low Reggie is there's a really, really half-assed Superman cameo in here. I won't even explain it, it's just stupid. There's a Superman cameo at the very, very end of the movie. Not in the post-credits, but just at the end of the movie. And it makes no sense. So like low Reggie, you know, put this in a G-bong, maybe get high. But yeah, that's my review. I'm Adot Rick, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you can, and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about Shazam, the latest DC EU film. Always remember, blaze it.